In this video, I will share with you my thoughts about Sony A6400, my experience with it in street photography, but I will also compare it a little with Fujifilm as a Fujifilm shooter. Let's talk about this now. Hi there, Tudor Matescu here. I want to share with you and to talk and to share my experience in shooting for the last 7 days Sony APS-C camera for street photography. I'm a Fujifilm shooter. I was shooting also micro four thirds cameras, and I'm shooting micro four thirds cameras from time to time. I'm also shooting Sony A7C full frame camera for street photography. But I always had a dissatisfaction regarding Fujifilm cameras. The AF, it didn't work. I didn't have the lenses that I wanted, and not physically I don't have them. No, I'm not able to buy the lenses that I wanted. I don't have on Fujifilm system the 27mm f2 small lens. So, I don't have a small capable camera. All the small cameras from Fujifilm are crippled in a way. They didn't put the technology they've put in X100V. So we don't have an X100V with interchangeable lenses, with small lenses with bright aperture. So an aperture that will let lots of light. And that aperture, it should be at least f1.8. Look at the micro four thirds lenses. They have the f1.8, the f1.7 aperture. They let lots of light for that small sensor. Fujifilm doesn't have this. So you are forced to use an f2 lens, but also an f1.4 lens. When you want to shoot in low light environments, and in low light environments, I'm not referring to very low light environments. I'm referring to dark shadows. In dark shadows, before the night is coming, if you are in between lots of buildings and you don't have sun, Fujifilm will have problems in rendering good images, from my point of view, from my taste. So I was looking for a system that will offer me the f2 aperture at least, but also the f1.8 lenses aperture. And on Sony, you'll be able to find on the majority of the full frame lenses the f1.8 aperture. So this is a big, huge deal here. So the experience of shooting a Sony APS-C camera in low light, also in night photography, it is way ahead of Fujifilm camera. So my experience in shooting this camera in low light, it is great because I have the f2 lens, at least, that is delivering with fast AF, so this adds to the experience. Very good fast AF. I have the f1.8 lenses that will offer lots of light with great AF. So the experience regarding aperture on the lenses and regarding AF on this Sony camera is great. I've decided to test this Sony camera, especially in low light environments. So I've got out before the night came into town. Why? Because this was my main reason. I wanted a camera able to deliver in low light situation, in hard situation, in street photography where things are happening fast, very fast, and I wanted to see, will this camera deliver? Because the majority of my pictures with Fujifilm with normal standard lenses and not the prime lenses. And by the way, I have a special newsletter dedicated to the passionate photographers. So if you want to learn more about photography tips, tricks, and all kinds of useful information for free, please subscribe to my newsletter, link in the comments and description. I'm not able to maneuver it as easy and as fast as this camera. So slowish AF, and with the weight, this very fast, very easy, very great AF, capable of delivering in very low light situations. So my experience in low light situations and in night photography, it is totally great. Next, I decided to take this camera and to force it with an f2.8 aperture zoom. This is the slowest zoom that I have on Sony, and it is slow. On Sony A7R III, wow, it was missing lots of shots, especially in low light situation and especially in backlit situations. So I was very afraid how this f2.8, so not a very good aperture for low light, will deliver on APS-C Sony. And I was amazed. Again, I was amazed. This AF system, it's totally killing it. So I've discovered that the AF system is making a big difference in the end result. So yes, the images are sharper, the images are looking great, the noise in low light, it's a little bit distracting, but it's very easy to get rid out of the noise with Adobe Lightroom. The file is responding very well, the sharpness is responding very well, so the end result, it is very good. So this was one of my biggest discovery, that an f2.8 lens could be sufficient on an APS-C body in low light. Till now, with Fujifilm, I didn't have this satisfaction. And I was thinking that my dissatisfaction was regarding the glass, again in low light, in street photography, with tough conditions, and also regarding the sensor. But in good light, I had good results. And I'm guessing my satisfaction with Sony A6400 is because of the AF. So I feel the AF is making the difference because I have the subject in focus, very sharp, very pinned focus. The subject is popping, the image is clear, the image, it is looking way better. With f2.8 on this, I'm not able to get the results that I've got from Tamron. So it's either the glass, and it could be that full frame glass, that it could be better on the center of the lens and it could render better details on Sony APS-C sensor. It could be this, but it also could be the AF. So probably they are both. We have better resolution on a full frame lens. With the great AF of Sony, you'll get results that will make you, wow, this is APS-C? This is APS-C 24 megapixel sensor, or what it is? Because as a long time Fujifilm user, I didn't have those images, that sharpness. I didn't have it. There was always a problem. If I'm not using light, and of course in photography you must use light, I was not able to get those details and that pinned sharp subject in focus. So the glass, the AF, all is making for a great experience, and I'm very thrilled. The next thing that amazed me is the weight. I was always an advocate for light small cameras like Fujifilm X-T5, like Fujifilm X100V, but it doesn't have interchangeable lenses. So this is like a Fujifilm X100V as light, as a Fujifilm X-T5 as light, but with interchangeable lenses. So this is where the tricky part comes in, and it's a big deal. So basically, I can take this camera with this lens and with any other lens, full frame lens or APS-C lens, and I will have a very portable camera bag that will help me do any kind of photography and good photography, and I will not have to worry regarding AF. So this is a very big deal for me. I'm liking very much to have the subject in focus. I'm liking very much to get what I want and not to have missed focuses. Lots of Leica users are saying I'm using Leica cameras with manual focusing, so I will not be able to blame the AF of the camera. And I'm totally understand them, because one of my biggest frustration regarding street photography with a Fujifilm camera was the AF. And making again another comparison between Fujifilm and Sony, because till now I was shooting a lot of Fujifilm, is that in street photography I feel this camera is much better and much suited than a Fujifilm camera. A Fujifilm camera, it is suited for photo shooting, for events, and for wedding photography. You can do it because you are the photographer. You will interact with your subject. You will not have so fast scenes like on streets. There, it's another story. There you can control the light, you can add light and so on. So this will deliver in event photography and in wedding photography. No problems. I've used it with kids photography, the harder subject, and I was getting very good results. But again, I'm able to control the light, I'm able to control the flash, I'm able to be in more control with a Fujifilm camera at any event that I'm able to be in control in street photography. So in street photography, you don't have any control if you are making candid street photography. So for candid street photography, for those fast moments, this camera didn't disappoint at all. So till now, my satisfaction with this camera, it's over the hills. I am totally loving it. Great experience for street photography with Sony A6400. So you have a tilt screen, you have viewfinder. Yes, the viewfinder is not one of the best viewfinder, but it's sufficient for street photography. You want to be fast, you don't stay like on an event all day long with the viewfinder at your eye. You just compose, shoot and move on. So for composing, it's great, it's doing the job. I feel it's a little better than Sony A7C. I'm not very convinced, but it's doing the job. It is there if you want to use it. Also, the screen is very okay in sunny weather. You also have a sunny weather option that it's very heuristic, but it's doing the job. It's doing the job. It will help you compose the image. Of course, also you have flash that it's working great. I didn't have enough time to test the flash for street photography, but from one to test it was working great. The grip is fine. I've managed to get my hand accustomed with this camera, and the way that I'm able to move this camera with any kind of lens, long lens, short lens and so on, it's amazing. So huge difference. With Fujifilm I was never able to get that experience regarding the ease of move. There were always problems, or the camera is too heavy, or the camera is too light and you don't have a grip. There was always something there. There was always something there that was bothering me. But with this camera, nothing is bothering me. Yes, you can add some improvements, but they aren't those little things that were bothering me. So a totally great camera for street photography. I really do recommend. I know lots of people are choosing Fujifilm for street photography, but you must also know that this is a very good camera for street photography. If you want special color, then this is another discussion, but you can obtain the Fujifilm colors on Sony using cobalt profiles. So have that in mind. You can get Fujifilm colors on your Sony camera or any color if you use cobalt profiles. Great profiles. No presets, profiles. And yes, you must work with the raw files. It really depends on what you want. In conclusion, my experience with Sony A6400 for street photography, it's great till now. I'm very thrilled. It's ticking all the boxes with all the lenses. So with short tele lenses, with wide lenses, with zoom lenses, with full frame lenses and with APS-C lenses. All the lenses that I've paired with this camera acted great regarding all the things that I wanted. So acted great regarding AF, acted great regarding portability and the way that you are able to maneuver the camera. This is a big thing. With Fujifilm, I don't like the weight or I don't like the AF. It's always something there. With a lens or with the aperture of the lens, it's always something there that it's bothering me. But with this camera that I was able to test it with a bunch of lenses, no problems. So big satisfaction here. I'm feeling that I've got the right tool for the job, my personal hobby, my preferences, personal preferences. Yours could be different and this is okay. So find your camera. I feel that I found my camera, my go-to camera, my everyday carry camera that will not make me sing and it will help me do photography every day. Please subscribe now to my channel and check the next video.